What's up, fighting fans? Tips from the FightIQ channel. Today we're coming back for another episode of the FightIQ show. Today is gonna be a bit special. It's our 20th episode and it's gonna be the last episode of the year. First of all, I want to thank all the people that are following the channel. I see more people coming. I'm really grateful to everybody and it keeps me motivated. And don't worry, I have nice things coming for you guys next year. Also, this week, instead of doing a top 5, I will be doing a top 3. Why are you asking me? Chill out, I'm gonna tell you. So that's because next weekend is gonna be a little light regarding fight events, so I decided to pick only 3 fights. And of course, I like balance, so I needed to adjust and pick only 3 fights for last weekend. Practice ranking, I base my opinion on these criteria: excitement, duration of the fight, opposition level, and the way to finish the fight. So let's get ready to rumble! So this weekend on the menu we had the UFC 296 in Las Vegas, the Rodriguez vs Edwards boxing card in Glendale, Arizona, the KSW 89 in Gliwice, Poland, the Cage Warriors 165 in San Diego, LFA 173 in Vegas, and RS 18 in Paris. Number 3, I picked Ariane Lipski vs Casey O'Neill. It was on the prelims of the UFC 296 in Vegas on Saturday 16th. Might surprise people that it is part of my top 3, but I really think it deserves to be in here. Lipski showed a lot of progress. She was facing a tough opponent like Casey O'Neill, who was ranked number 12 in the division and had only 1 loss in her UFC career before that fight, and she completely dominated the fight. So she was always managing the distance perfectly in order to take advantage with her great striking. Her timing was great. She rocked O'Neill a few times. O'Neill tried to take it to the ground in order to counter, but Lipski defended perfectly. She even reversed the position. By the end of the round 1, O'Neill was looking a bit frustrated and a bit discouraged as well. And directly in the beginning of the round 2, Lipski hurt O'Neill really bad. She tried to go on the ground, but she got reversed, and Lipski was causing her great damage with ground and pound. Then she took her back, she switched to the armbar position and finished the fight. It is the best performance I saw from Lipski until now. I hope to see that version of her in the next fight. O'Neill is now on a 2 fights losing streak. She didn't look good in that one. I hope to see her back to her previous shape next time. Number 2, I picked Alexandre Pantoja vs Brandon Royval. Co-main event of the UFC 296, Saturday 16th in Vegas for the flyweight championship. It was an amazing fight, high level skills and elite mentality in this one. I was actually surprised to see that Pantoja was being the more aggressive fighter in this one. He set a high pace from the very beginning. He was chasing Brandon Royval, pressuring him with his striking, engaging him in wrestling exchanges to finally take him to the ground. We could actually recap the fight that way because almost all the rounds were like this. But I have to talk about Pantoja's grappling. It's completely next level. He dominated the fight on the ground. Great pressure from him. Hats off to Royval. He was always in the fight. He kept defending, including in the 4th round. He was in a bad position. He almost got finished by Pantoja, but he never gave up. Incredible gas tank from the champ Pantoja, being able to perform like this with that intensity for so long against an opponent like Brandon Royval with that level of skills, who never gave up. I think it's incredible, it's unreal. So Pantoja logically kept his belt and I think it will be really hard to take it from him, and I can't wait to see who's next in line. And number 1, I picked Jesse Rodriguez vs Sonny Edwards. Main event of the boxing card was the same name. It was Saturday 16th in Glendale, Arizona for the IBF and WBO flyweight world titles. This is easily one of the top 3 boxing fights we had this year. 2 undefeated champions at the top of their game. Both said they would surprise one another, and a surprise we got. Rodriguez decided to impose his pace from the beginning of the fight, pressured Edwards, forced him to fight the way he wanted him to. He closed the distance and he cut his movement. Edwards was not mobile as he usually is. I think he got really frustrated. He was not hitting Bam with consistency, and Rodriguez was making him miss and countering with great accuracy. And I think that's where Sonny lost the fight. Round after round, getting more frustrated, doing too much, fighting in a way which was favorable to his opponent, an opponent which was more powerful and faster than him. and great commitment to his game plan from Bam. He never lost his focus, never got carried away, it was constant, he damaged Edwards like nobody ever did, and he even sent him on the canvas for the first time in his career in round 9. After that round, the corner from Edwards was forced to wave the fight off, and Rodriguez was declared the winner. An impressive victory. He has now 2 belts and he's looking to add more, so let's keep an eye on who his next opponent will be, because I think it will be a great fight as well. Also, let's see how Sonny will bounce back. For sure it hurt him, but I'm confident he'll come back better, and I'd be excited to see a rematch someday. Mentioned this week, I was a bit disappointed from the fights we had last weekend, to be honest with you all. Maybe my expectations were a little bit too high. For example, Edwards versus Colby Covington was not what the fighting fans were expecting, in my opinion. Colby didn't show up, Edwards stayed focused on his game plan. I think he didn't take too many risks, but still he showed that he could wrestle with Covington. And I can't wait to see him fight against Belal Mohamed. I think that's the best fight that can happen in the division for now. Some fights were good though. Shavkat Rakhmonov won versus Dubois was a beautiful submission. Josh Emmett scored a scary knockout versus Bryce Mitchell, and Paddy Pimblett won versus Ferguson in a really competitive fight. Saladin Parnas didn't succeed to win a 3rd belt at KSW 89. He lost via decision versus Bartos. It was a great fight nonetheless, and I'm excited to see what's next for both fighters. LFA 173, it was a good card, but I also expected better from the title fights. Still, we had some good performances from Jordan Harris, Trent Miller and Mitch Ramirez. Good performances also from Ronald Siahan and Hamad Hassanzada at Cage Warriors 165 in San Diego. Those were my favorite fights. I didn't enjoy RS 18 that much. I think we had a good fight between Sola and Yunusov for the title. Still, it ended in a controversial decision. And also a good performance from Chanel Dyer. 4-0 now. I think she is a top prospect to follow. And now the top 3 coming fights. So as I say, only one event in this weekend. That will be Day of Reckoning, a boxing event in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on Saturday 23rd. Number 3, I picked Daniel Dubois versus Jarrell Miller. I decided to put this one because of 2 things. First, I want to see how Dubois bounce back from the Usyk's fight and how he can deal with Miller's power. Miller is not the boxer with the best technique. He has also a questionable gas tank, but he has great power in his hands. He's 35 years old, 26-0-1, 22 wins by way of knockouts. But I think he never fought somebody with Dubois' skill set, and that will be a big test for him. Dubois is 26 years old, 19-2, 18 wins by way of knockouts, is the former WBA heavyweight world champion. I think he's a modern heavyweight, he's smart, he's fast for the weight class, and he fought good opposition in his career. He has only 2 losses. First one versus Joe Joyce, and the second one where he lost his WBA heavyweight title versus Alexander Usyk last August in Poland, and that's where he got knocked out in round 9. Nonetheless, I think it was a great fight from Dubois. He showed a lot of progress, good striking choices also, and I think it could have been different if the low blow was judged legal as it appeared to be. To be honest, to me, the only way Dubois can lose would be to not respect the power in Miller's hands. For the rest, he surpasses him in every other compartment. If he manages the distance and works smart as he did versus Usyk, I think he will finish Miller around the 8th round. Number 2, Deontay Wilder versus Joseph Parker. That's actually the co-main event of Day of Reckoning. It's one of the biggest puncher ever versus one of the most underrated boxers. The puncher being Deontay Wilder, of course. He has 43 wins, 42 by way of knockouts. It's an incredible ratio, and he faced some serious opposition in his career. Berman Steven, from who he took the WBC belt, Eric Molina, Johan Dubois, Chris Arreola, and Luis Ortiz twice. But then he found his kryptonite, Tyson Fury. 3 fights against him, 2 losses, both by knockouts, and 1 draw. He had a hard time dealing with it. He mentioned retirement, but he came back 1 year after his 3rd fight against Fury, and he knocked out Robert Illinius in the first round, confirming, by the way, his status as one of the most powerful boxers ever. He will face Joseph Parker. If you follow the channel, you know I really appreciate his boxing skills. I actually mentioned him 2 months ago when he won his last fight via KO versus Simon Keane on the Fury vs Ngannou boxing card. Parker is 31 years old, is 33 wins, 23 knockouts and 3 losses. There's a lot of tough opponents on his record. He won twice versus Derek Chisora, he won versus Junior Fa, Andy Ruiz, Carlos Takam, and lost only to Anthony Joshua, Dillian White, and Joe Joyce. 3 great heavyweights. Question is, could Parker prepare for an opponent from Deontay Wilder's caliber in only 2 months? Also, can he deal with Deontay Wilder's power? If he finds a way to stay a moving target, impose his game plan, work Wilder's body, he might get the win. But Wilder is really confident that he'll get his way and get to fight Anthony Joshua next, as it is already agreed. But I still think that Parker get the win and that he will spoil the party. And number 1, Dmitry Bivol versus Lyndon Arthur. It will be on the main card of the Day of Reckoning. It will be for the IBO and WBA World Light Heavyweight titles. Bivol is one of the biggest brains in boxing. He has a great striking selection, everything is calculated, he's never doing too much or overreaching. He has a great movement and great timing too. He's 33 years old, he's undefeated, 21-0, 11 wins by way of knockouts. He is the WBA World Light Heavyweight Champion since his win over Trent Borders in the first round via KO in November from 2017. He defended his belt 9 times since then. He beat Canelo Alvarez and Gilberto Ramirez in 2022. And now he will face Lyndon Arthur to get the IBO belt. Arthur is 32 years old, he is 23-1, 16 wins by way of knockouts. He is a tall fighter, he has a very long reach, he is a powerful puncher and is a good counter fighter. He captured the IBO title last September, knocking out Suarez in the 10th round. It will be his 3rd fight in 2023 and less than 4 months after his last one. I think it's a bit short to prepare a fight against one of the best boxers in the world. Still, I'm curious to see how both fighters will manage. Arthur has the reach advantage, so let's see if he can keep Bivol at large and find the right timing to counter. And also, let's see how Bivol will manage to go in and out without getting hit and which pace he will dictate. I think that Arthur has the bad habit to have his hands really low. I think it can cost him against Bivol. Also, Bivol's activity and intensity is elite, and I think it will be too much for Arthur and that Dmitry Bivol will get the win before the final round. Some other fights I will show attention on this card: Anthony Joshua versus Wallin, Opetaia versus Zoro, Makhmudov versus Kabayel, and Argovic versus Demori. Also, Tuesday 26th of December, there will be Inoue versus Tapales for the undisputed super bantamweight world title. So that's the combination of the 4 belts. There will be only one champion. So that was it for this week and then for this year. I hope you know what to watch to wait until I come back. Once again, I'm really grateful to everybody following the channel, giving me some strength. You guys are the best. I still have 2 FightIQ Unplugged that I need to drop. I hope to be able to drop one before the end of the year. If not, it will be beginning of January. Don't forget to hit those likes and subscribe button, especially the last one if you don't want to miss any new releases. Please guys, take care of yourselves, take care of your family in this period. I hope to see even more people next year. Enjoy the fights. I'll see you next year.